Let's talk Tanya for the 25th of Cheshvan of a leap year. Today we start and conclude chapter 32 of Igeres HaKodesh, which is the last chapter of Igeres HaKodesh. And like many letters beforehand, this also is a letter about charity, but there's an interesting twist over here. In this letter, the Alter Rebbe is not so much talking about the people who give charity. The Alter Rebbe is expressing his satisfaction, the good news that he received, that there's a system in place in all the Chassidic communities, and in every Chassidic community there is a Chabad Chasidism, a fundraiser, someone who's in charge of raising the money from the Chassidim in that city, and then transferring that money to the messenger of the Alter Rebbe, who would then take that money to Israel, to the poor Chassidim in Israel. And the Alter Rebbe points to a Gemara. The Gemara says something interesting. The Gemara says, Gadol ha'ma'asa yoser min ha'oser, which means that the one who inspires and influences others to give tzedakah is actually greater than the one who gives tzedakah. Which is interesting. You know, we always say we have dinners, and we have honorees, and who do we honor? The ones who are the donors, the largest donors. But based on this Gemara, it would seem that maybe this is a little misplaced, because the one who receives the greatest, who's worthy of the greatest honor, and the greatest chus, the greatest merit, actually is the fundraiser, the one who inspires, the one who speaks to others and convinces them to give tzedakah, and that is the Chabad tzedakah. The Chabad's the one in charge of the fund in every single city. The Alter Rebbe was talking about the greatness of that person. In terms of Kabbalah, because we know that's where the Alter Rebbe almost always ends up, the Alter Rebbe says, we've learned earlier on in Tanya, actually the Alter Rebbe talks about it in the letter that he sent the year before he sent this letter, that we know when Mashiach comes, we are going to have the revelation of the infinite light of God over here in this world. And the keli, the vessel, the container for that infinite light is tzedakah. And that container is made anytime someone gives tzedakah, regardless whether the person is self-inspired, regardless of whether the person was inspired by others, that container is created through tzedakah. But that's the container. Who actually causes the flow of the infinite light from above? That is not the one who's inspired by someone else, but the people who are self-inspired to give tzedakah, and the people who inspire others to give tzedakah, the Chabad tzedakah. These are people who they wake up in the morning and they say the Shema, and they say, V'yahavta Hashem Elokecha, we must love God, b'chol levavcha, b'chol nafshecha, with all our heart, with all our soul, u'v'chol ma'idecha, I love God so much, I'm also willing to give him my money. And therefore, they are self-inspired to give tzedakah. These are the people, not only are they creating a container for the infinite light of God, they're actually drawing down the infinite light of God, which will be revealed over here in this world when Mashiach comes. Interesting. With this, we conclude Igeres HaKodesh. So here we had many letters. If I recall correctly, I think there are 15 out of the 32 chapters in Igeres HaKodesh are letters about tzedakah. And the very last letter is not about giving tzedakah, but about inspiring others to give tzedakah and being self-inspired to give tzedakah. And you have to wonder if perhaps the message over here is the Alter Rebbe, many letters on tzedakah, but then the last letter is, guys, I inspired you a lot, and now it's time for you to be self-inspired and for you to inspire others also to give tzedakah. Mazel tov. With this, we have finished Igeres HaKodesh, the fourth part of Tanya. In tomorrow's Tanya, we begin the fifth and last part of Tanya, known as Kuntris Achrein.